So you were inside for 25 years. Where did you live before that?
I lived in Vallejo.
Hmm.
Right.
Had you ever been to Sacramento before?
No, well, I've been there just, but I never spent any real time there. I had been to Sacramento like 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
And when it was still like nothing there, it was still building up. So yeah, so they got 1,000 freeways.
Yeah. They do. All the big ones go through there.
Right, exactly. But I like it. You know what I mean? I like it.
Yeah.
Good.
No.
Like I say, it's real diverse and I like that.
Hmm.
So yeah.
And what's your living situation like?
So I got a 2 bedroom apartment, which is nice in a nice area. I'm actually living in Rancho Cordova, so it's kind of like the outskirts. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
I grew up in Sacramento. That used to be really out there, but now it's
okay.
a little more populated.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Nice though.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I'm happy. I'm living life. You
So
know,
you have
I,
a two-bedroom all to yourself.
yes,
Oh my gosh, no roommates.
no,
Oh, nice. You scored.
right? Yeah. So it's nice.
Uh, was it hard to get a job at Kaiser? How did that work out for you?
Well, not I'm gonna say not really, but from what I understand, so many people have applied and they're like, "How did you get in so quick?" It took me like 5 years, or I got somebody that's been applying for years. And well, for one thing, I got my certification from the state of California in hospital facility maintenance when I was up at Jamestown. So
Mhm.
I went through apprenticeship program, got certified. So I want to believe that that has something to do with it. And then the man upstairs had a whole lot to do with it. You know what I mean? And I just applied. I had a decent resume. Um, I attached my apprenticeship certificate and a other couple other little certificates that I had,
Mhm.
and um, they called me back and they said we're gonna do. So now they do. There's not a lot of in-person stuff, right? So that was all through online, and then they call me back and say, "Hey, we want you to do this online interview." So they don't even interview in person. So they have this set of questions. You have no idea what they're going to ask you. So you've got to be kind of like quick on your feet because you only have so much time to answer the questions as well. Right.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so I went through the interview. Obviously, I did well. And they called me back and said, "Hey, we like you. Um, so we want you to come for a meet and greet." So that's when I actually got to go to the hospital and talk to the manager. It was like 5 of us.
Mhm.
And the guy told me because they use recruiters, and the recruiter told me, he said, basically you've got the job. He said when they tell you they want you to come meet and greet, then you're pretty much guaranteed that you're going to get hired, unless they just don't really like you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I went for the meet and greet. Um, they didn't say much, it took us around the little tour and stuff.
Mhm.
We got a chance to ask some questions, and next thing I know, they were calling me saying, "Hey, we want you to start the onboarding process." So,
So how do you think having a felon affected you during that?
well, I don't think. Well, put it like this: had I have been a fresh felon, like, because on the application I didn't have to lie or anything. They only go back 5 years in Kaiser. So they said, "Have you been convicted of a felony within the last 5 years?" No, they do an extensive background check. And
Hmm.
so, but nothing came up because I mean, it had been 25 years since my conviction.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that helps a lot. It probably for people that have newer convictions, it's probably a lot harder, you know,
Yeah.
I would
And did you
imagine.
like a lot of times I hear it's difficult because you've got to disclose where you've lived.
Right.
So sometimes that can hook you up as far as where as you've been, but it sounds like without them looking at your felon background, maybe that wasn't
Right.
an.
Yeah. And then, like I say, they do a pretty extensive background check. I thought I was going to get kind of tripped up because they wanted to know about my last job. And I had put I was the lead guy at, you know, but I worked for the state of California, Cal PIA,
Yeah.
and so the agency that was actually doing the background check couldn't verify it because there's no tax records, there's no uh, W-2s or anything like that. So they said, well, we can't verify it. And so I got on the phone to PIA in Folsom, and luckily I connected to the guy, one of the head supervisors that was that knew me, knew that I had been running the crew there, and I told him what was going on. I told him, hey, I need somebody to verify my employment that I was employed with PIA,
Mhm.
and he said, no problem. Give him my direct number, and I'll verify it. And that's when everything after that was good.
Fun. Nice. Nice.
So I mean, there's a lot of roadblocks and things that you got to get past. But one thing I didn't do, I didn't panic. You know what I mean? I just kept my head about me and real okay. How do I resolve this problem? And that a lot of that was all the stuff I learned in there about problem solving and how to deal with stuff. And things worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things I realized and I don't think a lot of guys um, realize it, is that when you are in those groups, that's a perfect forum for you to be talking and getting comfortable talking in front of people because that's you're gonna have to do a lot of that because that wasn't the first interview I had. I went on a lot of interviews, you
Mm.
know, but that was the one that I wanted. I got offered a few jobs, and that was the job I wanted. So
You got just a lot of frogs, as I like to say.
right, right. So yeah, it was good. And things since then have been working out. I mean, I needed a car, and like while I was in, I saved some money. I bought a little used car, and that kind of went haywire, and the transmission started messing up a month after I got it. And so I was like panicking a little bit because I needed a car for work, right?
Yeah.
Because when I first started with Kaiser, you were on call, and so you had to work all different shifts,
Yeah.
and there's no way you're going to get there at 11:30 at night to work the night shift. So I just got on the internet and start looking around for stuff and applied to this one place, and I had no credit, mind you. I didn't even have a credit score, right? And um, Nissan Acura called me and said, "Hey, are you still looking for a car?" Yes. And so they hooked me up. I mean, they charged me an outrageous interest rate, and I'm
Yeah.
getting ready to refinance my car. But it was a blessing. Just what I mean. I got a 2020 Nissan Altima with low mileage, and know, didn't have to put much down. They took the trade in. I broke down on the way to the place. They actually had to send a tow truck, and they towed the car to Nissan Acura and still gave me the same amount of trade in. You
Oh
know,
my God.
right,
What are the chances? Yeah, they're really willing to make it work for you.
right, right.
Huh.
And I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with my employer because they carry a lot of weight. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm.
so
Yeah.
but
If they trusted you, then they will too.
yeah.
And the interest rate helps.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now, I mean, now I went from like zero, I didn't even have a credit score. And now, like, I got credit cards and stuff, and my score is like a 745
Wow.
in a year's time. You know what I
I
mean?
see. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. But,
Yeah.
I'm being like super responsible now, and it feels good because when I get bills, I just pay them. Wow. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't, yeah, I
And
don't.
that is no fun.
Right, yeah, but I mean, it feels good to have it to be able to pay and just take care of stuff and get it out of the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And you got lots of daughters, I'm sure, that would like to pull on you for that too.
right. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it's good, man.
Mhm. So what's been one of your biggest struggles in the last 15 months?
Um, Probably I should not have tried to get in a relationship, and for at least for the first year, because I got in one and it did not work out. Because I think there was too many expectations of me, like in my time, and I was just super focused on I need to get myself together. I need to get things together. I need to rebuild,
Mhm.
and I should have just let a year go by before I even tried that. You
But
know?
that is some discipline after your 25 years in
Oh, I
those
mean, it's right,
cells.
right. Of
Yeah,
course. So
yeah,
it's difficult. Of course, you want somebody. You know what I mean? But
yeah, yeah, right?
yeah. But
Yeah.
that was probably a big hurdle for me. Just time management. Managing my time
Mhm.
properly because I work the swing shift. So it's 3 to 11:30. So then I got to come home, sleep, and you don't have much time. So I've got to I had to readjust to doing getting the things done that I need to do within the time constraints.
Yeah,
Because it's not just the regular hours. And then my schedule is difficult sometimes.
yeah. It's
Um,
not your own really.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So how's it going with your kids?
oh man, wonderful, wonderful. I mean, like we just had the greatest time um, this past week, and man, I couldn't even ask for more. And they're like super proud of me. You know what I mean? And that part feels good because now it's everything's just good. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And they see it. It's not just I was talking. They see the effort I put in, and they see all the strides I've made, and you know, it feels good to have them. And they always been in my corner, but I didn't want to let them down anymore. You know what I mean? And I let them down big time for those 25 years, just by the one bad decision I made. So now's my chance to make up for all of that. You know what I mean? And just um, show myself and them that I'm serious about coming out and living life and never repeating those mistakes. Yeah, yeah.
and time helps too, right? You just
Yeah,
being
it
out
does.
there and
It does. You know what I mean?
showing all the good that you're doing and their
Right.
love
Yeah.
for it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what are your future plans?
Well,
Not that you don't,
I
not that you're not knocking it out of the park already.
no. I mean, I want to be a homeowner. You
Mhm.
know, and so I see that as a real possibility. Like I'm saving like crazy, and I set a goal for myself for this year, and I just about hit my goal for saving. Um, and so, yeah, I want to be a homeowner. Um, I'm also involved in a couple organizations. There's a program called the OK program. It's in Oakland, and it's basically put on by the police department, Oakland Police, and it's a kind of like a mentorship program. I went through a little training session and got certified, and so they meet every Saturday with young kids that have been that are just either system impacted or just um, disadvantaged, and we help mentor them and you know get them keep them on the straight and narrow. So I'm dealing with that, and then I just had a Zoom meeting the other night with Returning Citizens Association, and so I'm gonna be involved in them with them some kind of way. So yeah,
Yeah.
and I voted for the first time in my life.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
My gosh. Did you do it in person?
I did it through through the mail because I
Uh,
didn't want to stand in no long lines, but you know what I mean. But it felt good just to be able to fill out a ballot and drop it in the ballot your ballot box. You know what I mean?
right,
Right.
right.
Yeah. you know, so yeah, it felt good. You know, I mean, it kind of symbolized, okay, you're a citizen again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
I,
real. You're
ri-
somebody no longer
right, yeah,
tucked away
right,
there.
yeah. And
Uh,
like on my job, I don't talk about my prison experience and stuff because I don't want people to like, I don't know how a lot of people feel,
no.
and you don't want to be judged, and so I'm not. I'm just a regular person working just like everybody else. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And I've made some friends there, and so it's pretty good.
yeah. God, everything that sounds so clean with you, right? The car, the job, the
Right,
apartment, just your train, your frame of thinking is so
right.
great. Your
Well,
kid,
I came out like laser focused, but I mean, don't get me wrong. When I first got out, and I thought I was going to the transitional house, and they sent me because they didn't have any beds. They sent me to an inpatient recovery center where I could not leave. I couldn't have my phone. And so I was there for 30 days with people who were just coming off the streets, just getting off of drugs and stuff. And I had been clean for 15 years. So
oh,
it was difficult for me. I was angry,
I
right?
bet triggers in there with all that
Yeah.
drugs that are,
No, that part wasn't a thing. It was just I was angry because I'm like, I want to get my life started and I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. I
yeah,
couldn't go look for a job. I couldn't go get my license. I couldn't do none of that.
yeah.
So I was just there and I was going to meetings 3, 4 times a day.
What you've done for the last 20 some years.
Right, exactly. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So I was angry. Um, my first thought when I first got there, my daughters took me, and when I got there and they told me, "Oh yeah, you can't have your phone and you can't leave," and I was ready to go then. I was like, "Oh, I'm not staying here." And then common sense kicked in and say, "What are you doing? You're free. You're not in. You're outside of that gate. You know what
yeah,
I mean? You're gonna got to do whatever it takes to make it. You know what I mean? And if this is what they got planned for you right now, then I'm a I'm gonna suck it up and I'm gonna handle it. And I
yeah,
did. I stayed there 30 days. But it was actually probably a blessing for me because I'm real like go getter, right? And but it helped me to slow down for a minute. It helped me to slow down and realize, try to, keep things in perspective. So it was actually a blessing. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
yeah, and then so I left there after 30 days. I went to the transitional house, um, and that was good. It was decent. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And my plan was to stay in the transitional for a year.
Mm,
However, um, things things don't always work out like you planned because I don't know. They that was what they told us that we could stay for, and then it changed. And after 6 months, or when it was getting close to my 6 months, they were like, "Okay, so you got a place to go." I'm like, "Wait a minute! I thought you guys told me that as lifers we were eligible to stay for you," because I was in there
yeah,
saving a lot of money, right,
uh-huh,
to make
yeah,
sure that I had, because I had to start fresh. I had to buy furniture. I had to buy everything. So, and they were like, "Well, that's normally for people who have that will give extension for people who have clinical issues." So I've said, "Oh, so I got to be crazy, like, or what? I got to have some emotional issues before, you know what I mean?"
yeah.
So I told myself, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna start looking for my place, and that kind of fell into place because like I said, I still didn't really have credit, and
Mm,
I went and just so happens the apartment complex where I went to, the owner was there, just happened to be there the same day, and we started talking, and he was like, "Well, where do you work?" And I told him, and he's like, I told him, I'm straight up honest. I said, "Look, I don't really have credit." I said, "I don't have bad credit. I just don't have credit. I've never had any evictions or anything like that." So, and he said, "Well, send me a couple of your pay stubs." And I did that. And he's like, "All right, you're good. You're approved."
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That is a jackpot right there, right?
Right.
That
Right.
Put you on your own 2 feet.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So I was a little angry with the transitional because they kind of sometimes these people misrepresent themselves
Mhm.
and don't tell you the whole story. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then I said, you know what? I'm not going to be angry. It was probably divine intervention, so I could go. You know, because I was a little nervous. I was a little
Yeah.
nervous about leaving the transition and going out on my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
everything
it was like,
responsible for food,
right,
bills, furniture.
yeah, right. It was like a safety net, and then, but I guess that's what I needed. So I don't regret anything that's happened. Everything that's happened was supposed to happen, like and that's
Mm.
just how I
Pro
look.
process, sounds like
Right,
that's good.
right, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So is that the same apartment you've been in this whole time?
yes. Since I left the transition, yeah.
Oh, hey, come over, Corey, and say hi. Do you know Corey?
Of course, I know Corey.
I got Silk on the phone here.
Tell him to say something again. Hello, how you doing?
Come sit here. See,
What's up, Corey?
join me.
What's
Oh,
up,
hey,
man?
hi. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. What's up, man?
Good, man. Good. How you, man? Finally, we was just texting each other for
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
Sit
All
there.
right.
Yep.
Cool. That's why I want to be
Well,
walking.
still, you can
stuff.
sit there and talk to him
Okay.
later.
How you
Dan,
doing? How
Dan
you
is
doing, man?
full. Trying to walk this food off. From Thanksgiving still.
Right. I hear you. I hear you.
How you
That's
doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm
All
doing
right.
good. I had a nice Thanksgiving.
Oh man, you have a beautiful family.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, yes. So what's been out about what a year? Coming up on a year?
A little over a year. It was a year in September.
Huh?
Good memory.
Yeah. I know somewhere
Right.
around. Yeah, all
Because I
right.
saw him right before I left.
Yeah, you did. And that's
Right. Yeah.
it and everything. Hopefully, I see you at the holiday party.
Yeah. I think I got to work that weekend too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People do and stuff like that. Well, hey, it costs out here.
I know.
That's why I tell a lot of people, if you can, before you start working, decompress, get off that.
Right.
Once you get on that wheel,
Yeah. You can't just jump off of there.
no, it
Right.
dictates your schedule for the
Right.
most.
Exactly.
Yeah, so do and stuff, man. Well, it's good to see you, man.
All right. You too, Corey.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all go.
Okay.
I was
Hey,
just
keep
go ahead.
me keep me plugged in with things that's going on. I'm
Okay,
sure I'll get to another event.
okay, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.
All
Have a
right.
good one, bro. Diane, do you have your phone there with you?
I do.
Okay, I'm gonna send you the picture I took with my daughters. I sent you a picture, the one I took with all my daughters on Thanksgiving.
Oh, so nice. I was looking at a picture that you sent me last year of
Huh?
3 of your daughters standing
Right.
in the visiting room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Is there anything else you wanna share? You want people to know?
Well, I think I just want to people that are getting ready or that are have uh, are coming up on getting ready to be released is just be prepared. Just you know what I mean. Make sure that you got a game plan. Make sure I know the parole board tells us get your parole plans, but you got to be focused, right? You can't come out because I've seen some guys come out and they didn't do so well. You know, I had my resume together when I got out. I knew I had addresses to Social Security and DMV and all of that. And so, and then ask a lot of questions because there's a lot of things I didn't know. You know what I mean? And, but there's people that are willing to help, like that are seriously willing to help. You got to build your network. And that's something I never believed in before because I was always like, I could do this on my own. I don't need anybody. And
Yeah.
that's so far from the truth. You got to have people in your corner. You got to have people that you can talk to. There was people that like when I was pissed off, you know what I mean? And you don't always want to go to your family, but
Yeah.
you need those other sounding boards, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I had a few friends that I could vent to, you know what I mean, when I was pissed off or,
Yeah.
going through something and needed a little bit of just an ear sometime to hear, you
Yeah.
know? But
Yeah,
yeah, that's the biggest thing is just because I used to always say it's not getting out, it's staying out. You know, it's easy to get out, but can you stay out? You know?
yeah,
So that's the key is do enough to stay out,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and use your tools, right? Like you knew
Right,
who not to bring down, what
right, of course.
for help, and all of us, especially as we get older, you've been put in hard situations. You do it yourself. You are your own
Right.
independent person.
Oh,
You
sure.
leaned on people in the past. It hasn't always worked out. So that's good advice that you do have to lean on people. You've got to know,
Right, for sure.
ask for help.
Right. But you got to lean on the right people too, because there's people that I know that I just don't mess with. You know what I mean? I'll speak, but I don't go around or I don't mess with them because they're living a different lifestyle than I choose to lead, you
Yeah,
know? And so I just it's not for me. And so I have to know enough and have enough self-discipline to keep myself away from that. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
it just doesn't serve me at this point. You know, I want things that are going to be beneficial to me in my life and not negative, you know?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Keep it around. You are who you hang around with. I'm all
right. You
said.
know what I mean? I even like got introduced to a guy that invests heavily in the stocks, and he's been teaching me about the stock market. And so I've got some a few little investments, you
Mm,
know, in cryptocurrency and other stocks, and I've actually made a little bit of money,
nice.
you know. So yeah,
Translates directly to your wallet who you're hanging.
right, exactly, exactly, you know. So yeah, I mean,
Have
like
you yeah, go ahead.
no, I'm just gonna say it's I got a strong belief in God, and I don't know how many people, you know, I don't push my beliefs, but everything that I've been blessed with, He's just made it possible, and I really believe it's because I'm living right today, and I'm doing the right things, right, and so I'm receiving my blessing,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you're looking at things positively too, right? Like you're here you are for 30 days in this crazy situation, right? When you first
yeah,
found out. And instead of fighting it and being pissed off and
right,
down the path, you're just like, let's just trust this process. Or I believe
right.
in God. I'm gonna get out of it. This is a test. I'm gonna do it.
Right, and it was, you know, life is is comprised of a bunch of tests. You know what I mean? And if you pass that test, you move on to another test. But if you don't pass it, the tests get harder. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I've actually gone back to that place just to attend a meeting, just to show guys that hey, this works. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You got to start believing in this process, and it feels good to like, because like I say, I was fighting it at first, and then I just, you know, okay, I'm here. Let me make the best of it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Well, amen. You're doing a great job.
thank you,
So
thank you.
proud of you. Have you talked to Ellen?
I have a couple times. I know every time I look on the Facebook, she's in a different place. So I guess she's traveling or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've talked to her a few times. You know.
Yeah.
I
She's
haven't seen her yet because they were gonna have a little dinner for her, and then her mother died. Yeah, so so it got canceled. So I didn't get a chance to see her, but
yeah. Oh, heartbreaking though.
yeah,
Yeah, well, because of her, you and I know each other today.
right, exactly,
This the whole
exactly,
profit that I have, humans hang quit
right,
her,
yeah,
given a chance.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, but like I say, man, I'm happy, blessed. You know, of course, there's areas of my life that I'd like to improve. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
know,
Still, it's only been 15 months, and look
I
where you
know, I know. You know, eventually I like to be married, have a wife, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it'll come.
And it'll come,
Right.
right?
And I'm not forcing that anymore because it just doesn't it doesn't pay off like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 So
Exactly. Your time will come, right? You're getting all the others ducks in line for
right, yeah. Yeah. You know, and I even like I got two cars. Like you know what I mean? So go figure, like, you know what I mean? You know, things are just happening. I found a good deal on a nice little BMW and
Wow.
right. So I got 2 cars, and you know, I'm
Two
happy.
bedrooms, lots of kids.
You're right. Yeah, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
so
that's
it's
a
good.
lot. That's so
Yeah, but
exciting.
I'm proud of me. You know what I mean? I'm proud of me. I'm proud of how I'm living life. I'm proud of just the strides I've made. I'm super proud of me.
Yeah,
Nobody can take that away. You know, only
yeah,
person who can take that away is me.
that's
You
true.
know, right,
Good way to look at it, because people don't often look at it that way. It's like,
right,
poor me, why did this happen to me?
right.
Good attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
yeah.
well, I'm glad we finally had time to sit down, you and I. It's been a
I know, I know. It's been, when I first got it, I was just so chaotic, just trying to get everything in place, and I hadn't forgot about you. Just, you know what I mean? I just wanted to make sure that I was kind of like got to a point where I'm a little settled now, and you know, yeah.
yeah,
But
perfect. I can tell.
but
I can feel it. It's
right,
great.
yeah. But guys should know that like life is possible. You know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
had all these fears before I left prison. I had all these fears, and every step of the way I just stayed positive, and all my fears got relieved, and things were just falling into place. And so it just lets you know that life is possible, and a good life is possible.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to, you don't have to keep using the excuse, well, I got felonies, I've been to prison. There's you can there's plenty of jobs out here, plenty of jobs, may
Well,
not be the one you want. I was just blessed because I was ready to take any kind of job. I was
mhm.
ready to go pick up trash on the side of the highway, whatever it took to just get started. And that's not what God wanted for me. He put me right in a career job, you know? I mean, it doesn't happen for everybody, and sometimes you got to struggle, but yeah, I was willing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking the steps, being there.
Right.
What would you say to someone looking at someone who's been previously incarcerated, say as long as you have 25 years? What would you say to them about hiring someone like you?
Oh, I would tell them that if if you've done that much time, um, we're some of the best workers you could ever have. We carry a lot of integrity, honesty. I mean, on my job, I've found multiple things, like, and it just automatic now. Like, people leave their purses, and I here go turn them in, or phones, or whatever is. So my level of integrity is super high. You know what I mean? And people should know that, like, if you spent that much time in, you're not the same person that you were when you came in. And those are the people that you want working for you, because I feel like I'm gonna be super loyal because I've been given a second chance. How could I not be loyal? I'd be a fool to be not be loyal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, we're some of the best, and honestly, I can outwork 99% of my coworkers because I'm grateful, right? I'm
Yeah.
grateful for the amount of money I'm making. I'm grateful to just be out and have a job and have an opportunity to build a life again. And some
Mm,
people take that all of those things for granted. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And so they don't have the same appreciation I do, and the same drive I have to work and work hard and do a good job. So,
Yeah, that's 100% true. And there's, I mean, even down to the fact that there's only certain transitional houses that will take someone who's been on life, right? Who's had
right,
5 years, because they know exactly what you're preaching. That
right,
are reliable. They do have their act together. They've had
right.
time inside
Yeah,
to look at their future and, like you said,
right,
work through it.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
because it's not,
or
it's
such good mentors.
right. Yeah, I'm not playing games anymore. This is real life. You know what I mean? And I'm looking towards like my future, which I'm anxious, like, you know what I mean? Because I got to get things together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's serious, but I'm loving every step of the journey.
Yeah. That's great. I can just feel your positivity. It's so awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I wish I could give you a big hug and thank you for just how awesome you are, and sitting and talking today and seeing
Right.
you so happy.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate, I do. I appreciate all you guys do because you get the message out and people need to know that. People need to know that like we're redeemable. You know what I mean? I'm not the sum total of my mistake. I'm a human being, I'm a person, I'm a father, all of that. I'm a brother, a son, you know what I mean? So people need to know that like we're redeemable, and I'm not saying that every single person, because there's some that are gonna go out and mess up. You know what I mean? And they make it bad for some of us, but that's just life. You know what I mean? There's people that have never been in prison that mess up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's
There's
no
a
difference.
difference. Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
it's no different. So don't judge because one person messed up and say, "Oh yeah, I knew that they couldn't change," but that's not everybody.
No,
There's a whole lot of us, and probably 90%, 9% of us that are coming out that have been in life sentences. We're going to come out and do good
yeah,
because we got a whole different type of motivation,
yeah,
you know. So,
yeah. That's total mic drop right there. And it brings me to tears when you just talk about being human and second
right,
chances and
right,
changing. And yes, it speaks to me that we need to share. We need more people to
right,
see. We need more people to hear you and
right. Yeah.
everything. So it's beautiful, beautiful what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
Sure. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and you gotta get up here to SAC so we can go to lunch or something.
I guess, yeah, would love that. We
Right.
got we're in the beginning stages of rolling out a program in Mule Creek.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be making our way up there. We're hoping to get
Okay.
one or two. So
Right.
yeah, it's happening.
Well, eventually I'd like to be, involved some kind of way.
Oh,
You know what I
good.
mean? If it's nothing but just a speaker or whatever, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do. So that's one of my goals in 2025 is to get our
Right.
work up there a little more.
Right.
Yeah, you'll get on you and I on stage and
Right.
share it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I got a message.
Yeah, I can hear it. I can feel it.
All right. All right, Diane.
Okay, thank you for your time and
Okay.
good luck with everything. And hopefully I'll see you sooner than later.